The concept of astral warriors makes us all think of positive spiritual entities going around in golden armor, wielding a sword against all things evil, much as archangels are depicted. Although in my experience this can be true, most astral warriors fight evil simply by existing, as their high vibration is very toxic for all those entities who are defined by having very low existential vibrations. A high vibration being in a low vibration realm is like a candle in a dark room. One is enough to disrupt darkness, and therefore those entities will do whatever is in their power to extinguish its light, as it is literally destroying their darkness and their evil realm with it.
I've been talking about this topic for a while now. If you ever wonder, why you? Why are you being targeted? Why do you have it so hard? Why are there so many difficulties in your life? If you ever feel targeted, if you ever feel like there's some interference in your life and things are just not going your way, or it's actually going against you, there's a reason for it. And I know we have to look at psychology and take care of ourselves, like take care of the physical body, take care of our mindset, take care of the basic 6 human needs, all of that. Yeah, it's important. But with all the responsibility we have for ourselves, we cannot deny the fact that people here are being targeted on many levels. And not just necessarily, oh, let's spray the world with chemtrails. Ooh, yeah, everyone's dealing with that. Great. But it's specifically you, that shining light. You might not feel like it, but that's because you're targeted. People who have enough awareness. You are that shining light. You are that beacon of light. And you have suppression in your life because you are a threat. I've been talking about it for so long. Just you. The way you feel every single day. If you're able to change that feeling state into a love vibe, feeling positive, feeling something good, just change your frequency and feeling state a little bit. You are burning those entities away from yourself and others. And here's the thing. While most people are stuck in their reactive zone, meaning something happens in life and they react, yeah, they're an easy target for loosh harvesting and just, like, okay, yeah, an asset, a tool. It's just, Earth being loosh form. Yeah, that's one thing. But when you have enough awareness to tell, okay, I know how I feel, I know what I perceive, but you can tell the difference when your thoughts are not your own, when the feeling states are not your own as well, is being projected to you. When what happens around you is handlers and NPCs, and it's fake, the whole situation is set up, and you're not taking the bait, you're not reacting. You are supposed to, the plan was to make you react, to make you pissed off, feel bad, wrong, and guilty, to get engaged in some kind of game and start blaming people and start fighting or get too much into the physical. But you know what you're doing, and you're not taking that bait. You're dangerous because of that. Because when you're standing in that power and you're feeling good and you're not reacting to their environment, you're not reacting like, oh, this was, no, it's not my own. You are in a good feeling state. And that is dangerous because you become a catalyst. It's not just you yourself or like, you're going to get rid of entities or tulpas or egregors or other things. Yeah, that's good on you. But you're walking around. Whether you want it or not, you are making an impact on other people. You can just walk right past them. But what happens is that who you are, your energy, just you walking by and bypassing someone, your energy will push someone else's entities away. They just walk by you and all of a sudden they feel better, clearer. That brain fog, all these negative thoughts, go away. I wonder why. It's because of you. And you're dangerous. And you're a threat. And these groups are afraid of you. So, yeah, when Swarru's talking about Astral Warriors, it's not just beings who get out of body or in the astral and do all the space opera fights. It's here. The real fight is also here on Earth. With so many groups having their own agendas of how they want to control humanity or impact someone, how they want to change timelines and have their own realm here, you are standing in the middle of it all, and you are a threat to what they want to create and do. Because you're not making it, or you're not letting it happen. And they don't like that. You're making it difficult for them. You sharing information. You saying, hey, well, those thoughts are not yours. When you can tell the difference and you're helping others, it's not just helping someone else to wake up. Waking up and finding out information and learning that the world is a little bit controlled or affected by other groups, yeah, that's one thing. But the real power is being in control of yourself, in control of your own thoughts, in control and awareness to tell, hey, a lot of what happens here, it's not us. You getting depression, you getting bad thoughts, feeling suicidal, or all of a sudden, like your emotions go on steroids against you and things fall apart, that is not you. But most people can't tell that. And they fall for all those hooks and baits and become just like little rats in a wheel, running and creating all this energy for others. When you're aware of that, you get out of that wheel and you stop that cycle. You stop being harvested and you help others to break free from it too. So, there's a lot to it. But Astral Warriors here on Earth, real fucking deal.
This means that by definition, all positive, high vibration starseeds are astral warriors, especially on Earth. As a note, starseeds are not unique to planet Earth and its realm, as they occur all over the universe, and inside all stellar cultures and societies, they jump from one experience to another.
Finally, someone said it. Because there are so many people who are like, I'm Arcturian. So, it's like everyone has a title, everyone had all of these races. Your consciousness, at any point in time, whatever you focus on, you can shift. Oh, currently you feel like you identify with Irmas? Good. This is your soul family. It's like switching cars. It's like, okay, this feels comfortable. I like it. And you drive around, you prefer that one over others. Good. But you have all the cars available to you in the world. Whenever you want to switch and try out something else, it is your choice. You just choose to focus, oh, what's this one? Looks different. I kind of like the colors. I like the way it looks. You drive around, you like the way the engine sounds. It's like, you prefer that one now. So you might have 5, 7, 8 cars or something. But same way with the consciousness. It's all about what we focus on. And finally, someone said it. Thanks, Swarru. Because, yeah, too many people just think that they identify only with one race of starseeds. But we're all of them. We can shift and focus and be them, like all of these races.
Sampling what it is like to be a member of one or another biological race, all in their eternal quest for knowledge and expansion. As I have explained before and in another context, starseeds on Earth don't need to be on a mission, as missions are seen with Earth's social parameters and ideas. All they need to do is be who they are, and follow their life and their interests as best as they can. The mere fact that a starseed is present in one or another place on Earth is being the candle in a dark room, and the higher its vibration is, the more its influence reaches. Even if the starseed is sad or depressed, its essence will always be high vibratory. But beware that a starseed who has lived many incarnations in other places, and has existed and thrived in higher, non-material existential realms, has a phenomenal manifestation power, for good things and bad things.
That is something we should pay attention to. Having so many different lives, different aspects, all of these stories that we have experienced. Many of you have seen the world that is much better, the relationships that are valuable, meaningful. And when you come here and see how different and challenging this world is, how easy it is for the consciousness to get lost in all of this chaos going on here, and all the negativity, and buy into those stories, you get really overwhelmed. You might feel like, or hear from other people, that you're a bit emotional, that you're very sensitive. No. You are sensitive, yes, you're feeling things, that's good. But it's not being oversensitive and, reacting too much. No. You just feel and see things that, hey, everywhere that I've been, it's never been this difficult. It's never been so stupid and retarded. And by that I mean, there are many relationships. There are many ways where people can just have conversations telepathically too. And you meet beings and you communicate telepathically and you exchange the feeling states and you have all of these stories connecting. And people get you. But here, languages are limited. And when you're trying to have a simple conversation, there's a thing that you feel and want to express, but the way you say it is already different. A person hears it differently from what you've said and understands it way differently from what they've heard. So, what you felt and what was understood are on a very different levels. And we have such a hard time communicating and connecting with others because the worlds that you've seen and the places you've been to are so different. And when you're trying to connect on deeper level, have conversations, to be understood, to say that, hey, there's value in life. And we should respect each other and we should respect beings and we should look at things differently. And you see that everything else here is different, opposed, controlled, programmed, suppressed. It becomes very difficult. And this world makes you mad. This world makes you cry because of all the difficulties. Now you're not too sensitive. No, you're not too emotional. You're just sad because things here are so different from what you're used to. So when we're talking about these relationships and connection with people, it becomes hard. Because, like Swarru said, you've had so many lives and you are very good at manifesting things. Everyone is. But when we come here, and from the very moment we are born, we are shoved different programmed stories and way to control us about things that are allowed and things we can and cannot do. And all of a sudden, we have so many negative stories and events happening all over the world, all around us, all the time. When we start buying into it and living it, because this environment is really toxic for people. If you've been to other places, this is very toxic. Just being here is killing you, so to speak. And you're feeling it. And so now you have to take care of yourself in order to survive, manage all this, trying to recall other lifetimes, other aspects, and what you've had out there. Memories are suppressed. We lost our identity, so to speak. We don't have the connection with our families that we've had there. feeling alone, lost, disconnected, and just trying to handle this while dealing with everything else, it becomes very difficult because once we focus on the negative and different stories around us, you're starting to manifest that. Oh, yeah, I couldn't park my car. Oh, traffic jam. Oh, prices are getting higher. And we're reacting to one thing after another every single day. And it builds up. And we are left with no time to self reflect, to feel better, to feel different, to connect with aspects we've had out there. And so we forget that ability that, yeah, we can manifest. We can create the world. We can create ourselves. We can look at the powerful aspects we've had and download it and become it here. We forget that. And we're left with dealing with all the stresses and problems of life. And they're just bringing it more and more and more, trying to get us take the base so that we would react and engage and forget that your true power, your ability to imagine and create, is being suppressed. And they're making sure that you have no time to focus on that, let alone enough to even believe that you can do that. Like, oh yeah, it's for kids. Imagination, yeah. Go on. Think about some good stuff. Yeah, positive thinking. It's useless. As the stories are trying to spin now. But it's false. You're very powerful. They know that, and they're trying to suppress it.
So it is their responsibility to know this, and manifest only good things for itself, and with them for the collective around it, which it is influencing. Self-control in all aspects of life, determination and emotional control is essential not to fall into a destructive mental spiral that will manifest ugly things with appalling speed, as compared to someone else, who is more normal and less powerful, for lack of better words. The simple presence of a high vibration, determined starseed who is self-conscious of being one, in a low vibration place is enough to disrupt the energy patterns that feed evil in that place. The mere fact of one of those starseeds walking into a room with bad energy is enough to stop much of that evil energetical pattern. But, of course, the starseed will sense it is in a low vibration place, and will feel disgusted or repelled by it, wanting to leave, as that low vibration in there will attempt to lower its own, by the simple effect of the dominant frequency principle, which states that the strongest vibration will want to make all others more of it.
Notice how, in this life, you quite likely had a lot of positive experiences. Just people smiling at you, giving you a compliment, just enjoying your walk in the park or swimming in a lake or something. There were good moments. And then something nasty happens, and it has your attention. It can be just a phrase, it can be just like person pissing you off. Maybe you saw something on the news, whatever. But it takes one negative incident and your focus goes on it, and you will have a hard time trying to disconnect from that experience and like, okay, yeah, just shift it, shake it off, yeah, whatever. It's freaking hard. And people get sucked into like, I just can't pull myself out. And you think about that event again and again and again and again from different perspectives. And then you dig deeper and start asking why. Why am I feeling this? Why did this happen? Why me? Why this? And all of these whys, they're not explaining anything. It's assumptions. It's looking at that same thing from different points of view, but still not getting it. And that question why causes a lot of what ifs. So we're just expanding the negativity more and more and more, sucked into it. Okay, that's just one event. But a lot of them build up in your life. And we get so sucked into those memories that we have that are negative. So we have a memory, we have feelings about a certain memory, those feelings thoughts like shape our beliefs about it. Belief shapes like how we see the world, the perception, and it's just like this mechanism, this cycle that draws us into like something bad happens, and we will remember, well, the last time something similar happened, well, this is how I felt, and this is what it should mean, and I have an assumption, and I have a belief, and I have a limiting belief, and here's how I see the world because of that event. It doesn't have to be like it. It's not even the same thing, but we just get so caught on. And so having this responsibility to shake it off, have enough awareness where we can tell what we think is ours and what thoughts are projected into our space, what we feel is ours, and what feeling states and emotions are projected to us. What kind of events are real and what is actually the bait to get you sucked into that old story and old pattern, to make you react to that environment and just go back into this feeling state and cycle of where you are suppressed. And that's like this constant wave and cycle where you shake it off and you're feeling fine. And you're starting to focus on projects and what you want to do and what you want to create and something that's important to you. And you focus on it and you work on it and you're doing good at creating it step by step, maybe a little difficulties here and there, but you're dealing with it. Everything's fine. Next thing you know, boom, paradigm crash. Something happens. You end up taking that hook. And from this okay feeling state or the good feeling state, from having a goal and focus, from feeling fine, from doing things in life, everything crashes. And you're having to deal with a bunch of emotions that were in there. Yes, you can get pissed off. Yes, you can get angry. It happens. It's good for you to react. It's good for you to feel that. It's good for you to feel empowered. That anger, that rage, it's not bad. It is your body telling, hey, you're reacting. You don't like it. You're not running away. You're into fighting. You're into getting what you want. That's good. But they turn up the knob. And next thing you know, those feelings, same stuff, on steroids. Now you're overreacting. And they're able to control your actions because of it. So having enough awareness to stop the cycle is very important.
This could be interpreted as the low vibration place being toxic for the starseed, but that depends on the starseed's personal frame and internal power, and its capacity to stand its own ground against adversity of all kinds. The dominant frequency of those low vibration places may want to lower the starseed's own, which is the definition of being in a toxic place. Yet, what I am going to say next is very important. The starseed's total vibration cannot be lowered simply by being in a bad low vibration place, even though the starseed may feel its vibration lowering, perhaps because he or she is seeing the horrible things that are going on there. As an example, it will reduce it is inevitable, yet it will never get lower than a certain point that depends on the starseed's frame. It cannot get lower, because the place will not change who the starseed is at its core, and this is because the high vibration person, the starseed, is not really generating its vibration and its energy. A high vibration starseed is not isolated, it is source itself, and wherever it goes, that doesn't matter.
And just to add on it, yeah, like our thoughts, how we feel is one thing. But let's not forget that because of our ability to manifest, you become like that magnet. What you're feeling and what you're thinking, you're attracting. And if there are entities who feel similar to you, just a bunch of entities who might be angry, who might be rageful, who might be lost in life, who might feel like they don't have a place or, oh, like nobody needs me, nobody cares about me. Like they feel that too. Nobody cares about them. People want to get rid of them. They're not like, oh, an entity, it needs help. Let's take care of them. Most people don't do that. Not even consideration. So they will jump to those where they're feeling alike. Notice the identity that you have. What kind of feelings you have about it. When you get out of place and you're not feeling like yourself anymore, that's where that frequency will match with beings who feel the same way, and you'll attract them. So you might feel pissed off, you might get lost in life, you might like, oh, I just don't want to be here anymore. Oh well, guess what? It's like ringing the bell really loud and attracting a bunch of beings to you who feel exactly the same. So entity clusters jumping to you, yeah, they'll amplify those emotions. They'll make you focus on that subject, they'll make you think about it more. All of those thoughts will not be yours because you're picking up entities who feel like that, not yourself. You have the feeling state, entities come to you because they feel the same, and they're thinking. It's not your thoughts, it's what they're thinking, but you assume it's you because you're not seeing them, you're not sensing them. But the feeling state, well, that reveals a whole different thing. That's one thing. But now when you feel something bad and you focus on it and you attract entities, NPCs, AI, all those programs, like, oh, took the bait. Let's go. So now we have groups who will set up different scenarios, work as our handlers, and now you are in the Truman Show. Everything is set up to trigger you, to keep you in that cycle, to harvest the lelouch, harvest your energy, crush you down, and make sure this really powerful being who's able to create, who's able to manifest, who's able to shift it all, is doubting itself. This powerful being that has the ability to create and change everything lost the belief that he or she can do anything. Now they're lost and they're feeling bad, wrong, and guilty. They don't want to exist anymore. They're like, fuck it. And that will bring more of it. So it takes a lot of responsibility and awareness and power and effort to know what's going on, to not take the bait, to deal with this, or at least don't blame yourself if you're like, oh no, I got into that cycle again, or here I am thinking and it's like assuming that all of these thoughts are mine when it's not. Don't blame yourself. You notice it. Just try to be better. Every single time. Oh, there it is. Took the bait. Just pull yourself out of it. You become aware that, yeah, something's off. Yeah, you took the bait. Yeah, you got an altar. Yeah, you have an entity. Everyone does. I take baits. It's like, look up at Swarru. She's amazing, powerful. Even she gets sick. So it's not like we're immune to everything and we're super duper powerful and like, hey, untouchable. Woo, look at me. Like, nah, not happening. But it's like constant work. Constant, everyday work. Just trying to be a little bit better every single day. And this just kind of reminds me of the frequently asked question by people where they get so consumed by this life. Same person is able to create a lot. They're powerful. They can change so many things. And yet, getting caught up in the difficulties, they get to the point where they're asking questions, can the soul stop existing? Can I uncreate everything? Can I just unbecome it all? Like, you can't change that. Your consciousness, yeah, you're gonna exist anyway. And you might try to disconnect from this aspect, this story, this reality, this frequency that you've tuned into, but they're still gonna exist. It's just that we have to choose not to come back here, to be a whole different being. And, yeah, if you get tired of this, if that's not what you want to experience, you have to get out. Not fly out and leave. What you focus on, what you believe in, change it fully. your frequency, thoughts, your identity. Change it fully by what you focus on. Because all of the negative stories, all of the negative events that have built up, you look at it, you feel something about it, you have assumptions about it, you have beliefs about it, you have perception about it, so it creates your story. If you use the same frame for something positive, for what you want to experience, you can change it. So it's not about uncreating the soul, disconnecting from everything, just like deleting, uncreating. It's not about that. It's about shifting your focus. One story, one belief, one frequency, one perception, and a whole different thing over here. You have to look at it differently. You have to change it. It's the only way.
This can also be interpreted as having a strong connection to Source, yet that, in my opinion, does not explain accurately what is going on there, as that explanation other people and authors use generates the idea of being separate, away from Source, therefore having something like a long-distance connection to it, and therefore of being something different from it. As a starseed, you who are listening to me right now, you are Source. You manifest and you create with your focus, and with your higher values and ideas, therefore you balance the low vibration, highly dualistic realms you walk by, filling it with the light and with the positivity of creation, not of destruction, of Source. Even when you have made mistakes throughout your life, you must know that back then you always acted with the best information that was available to you at the time, and you concluded that it was the best possible course of action, even though in the end things didn't turn out as you had wished. And also remember that being in that low vibration dense soup called Earth's matrix means that many of your thoughts and emotions were telepathically picked up by you from the greater collective unconscious, and not so unconscious. As I explained in other videos, not all your thoughts and emotions are entirely yours, as everyone is telepathic, yet untrained to distinguish their own thoughts, ideas, and emotions from those of others, also as the consequence of being a highly empathic being in a place full of constant hurt.
And that is another challenge of this game that most people don't realize. Yeah, it's a collective game. We're trying to make it more about ourselves, which is in a way good, because yeah, we have to be aware of what we think, of what we feel, and what is actually projected, what we're picking up from someone else. When we realize that and start getting in control of our actions, to not react and not take the bait, to stop being an asset and just an energy ball, stop being a battery for someone else, stop being an entertainment show. When you have enough awareness and control of yourself, and your day-to-day actions lead you to having a better life, please slowly, little bit by little, and you're no longer affected by negativity as much as you used to, because I can't say that we're gonna fully disconnect and never be affected by it. Yeah, we're gonna react here and there a little bit, but you're trying your best. But the real game of the creativity and manifestation and changing everything starts when you know that it's not just you, but everyone around you is being impacted as well. And the energy you carry and your focus and your awareness will impact others. You don't have to wake up the whole humanity and change the world, and don't pick up those projects. Don't have to be Jesus and save everyone and sacrifice for everyone. Like, nah. Just know that you, by being yourself, by being your best self, that alone is making an impact on the world and everyone around you. You don't have to go and spread stories and try to wake everyone else up. You don't have to try to educate people into, well, this is how the world works. And I've heard about Swarru and Taigetans, and here's why you should look at them too. You don't have to do that. You're being an example. You being the best version of yourself and finding joy in this life. Finding what is important to you and doing that and focusing on it and being the best version of yourself will shift everyone else's attention on you. If they're feeling like crap, if they're feeling depressed, if they're feeling negativity and dealing with difficulties of life, they will look at you and wonder, why is this guy or girl feeling different? Why are they unaffected? You are affected, or at least were. And so, just you being you, focusing on what's important to you, doing good, will cause that domino effect where others, without having to talk to you and learn from you that much, will see you as an example and they'll wonder why. And they'll want to have a conversation with you. And then you can share a thing here and there, whatever you feel comfortable with. But it's not forced. It's not trying to save someone else. It's just sharing your experience. But that's the best thing. When someone else is willing to change. Because, oh boy, I have so many clients who are like, do everything for me. Save me. And it's like, do that. Working, as a doctor, for example, you can do a heart surgery and help someone else out. But it's like, if a person will not change his or her habits, it's going to lead back to the same heart issues and they will need the same surgery in a few years. Best case scenario. If we're looking at, the physical body, and me, I'm a massage therapist, yay, like learning kinesiology and everything else, amazing. But it is freaking noticeable. You can tell a person, like, okay, I can work on your body, I can make sure I go through the fascia and like different things, and like we're gonna look for the core of the problem and just like not relaxation, we're gonna solve some problems here. But if a person doesn't change habits, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, your high heels are really messing up your posture and it's like just like really bad for your footsies and the whole muscle chain. If you're not gonna change that, you're gonna keep on having the same pain. So it's like, we have to train our bodies, we have to train our mindset to change every single day. Same here. What you focus on, what you react to, learning not to take the bait. We have to learn that. When we stop being reactive to the environment, to the handlers, to all of these pushes of buttons where they're trying to trigger us, the game for them gets much more difficult. Because whoever was feeding them and making it easy is not doing that anymore. And those groups are losing those assets. They're losing their batteries. We're not producing as much energy and loot for them as they would like to. And that's good for us, but we have to practice, we have to train. So it's not just like, oh yeah, just think positive. It's a day-to-day thing. Working out, training. But our mindset, our actions, our values, our focus, or our awareness is every single day.
And also remember that all those lower astral entities and creatures will do anything possible to target and lower the vibration of those star seeds who are disrupting their beloved dark realm, where they are being manifested as egregores, spawned from the darkest corners of the collective unconscious. A star seed, as a candle in a dark room, will have all the attention on it, and of both dualistic sides, of those who need its light and therefore do everything to protect it, and also of those who wish to extinguish it, to sink the place into darkness. This is perhaps the simplest explanation of why so many star seeds on Earth feel so targeted, and by all sides. Moving on, besides this not-so-romantic explanation of how starseeds fight evil by simply existing, You must also know that the best way to fight something is not to give your opponent anything to bounce against, therefore simply existing as a starseed in a low vibration place is fighting evil, defeating it, without even needing to go into an open confrontation. This is because a direct fight may be exactly what the evil entity wants.
Absolutely. Like I'm saying, it's not going into battles. If we engage, we're just part of the system, we're just part of the program where they want us to be. Think of this. Your neighbor is being controlled. There's an ET, let's say reptilian or Draco, that can use direct energy weapons or that can use the consciousness transference and just take over the body. Use your neighbor as a puppet. Or let it be an NPC. There is an AI program running it. And they know that they can use that specific person to do something to trigger you. That neighbor or person, whoever it might be, your parents even, your siblings, co-workers, friends, someone you know. Look at that figure where, oh look, we have a decent enough connection, and they just flip, become a whole different person, act out of their character, get really rude and do something to really trigger you. And you're like, how do I react? If you're not taking the bait, not getting into a verbal fight, and your words are not getting into a fight where you're trying to stop them or you're trying to get your revenge or prove them wrong or something, you win. It's not turning the other cheek where, yeah, you can punish me. Like, no, not that. It is knowing that you will be the bigger person if you will not take the bait. You will not allow them to control how you feel, how you react, and you will not let them distract you from what is important to you. Because previously, before that person appeared and distracted you, before it triggered you, you were focused on something. Were you feeling love? Were you feeling positive? Were you trying to manifest something positive? You had a project in mind, an idea, something that really lit up your eyes. And all of a sudden that person appears and does something stupid and it triggers you. Comment about your dog. Parking somewhere and just getting in the way of your car or something. Yeah. All that happens. And if you're like, I'm just not gonna spend my time there, not gonna get into a fight, you win because you focus on what's important to you and you're not taking the bait of the handlers. And it happens on many levels. Even if we're looking at duking out and this whole space opera war, if you're playing there, you're engaging in their game. Or you're like, do you want to play Monopoly, knowing that it's all rigged and the game eventually will end and we'll have to restart if you want to play more, and it's going to be same old. Maybe you win, maybe you won't, but it all goes back in the box at the end of the game and we will restart. Or you're like, I'm out of this duality. I'm going to focus on my own realm, not even try to fix stuff. I would just focus on a whole different frequency, a different aspect of me, and a whole different story that has nothing to do with this. And you end up creating the world you want. A different realm, a different aspect, different identity. You can have an enjoyable life there. But since you've came here, you have to learn how to deal with this.
Yet the mere existence of a strong-framed, determined starseed who is being itself, as source itself, is a power those entities cannot fight against, because there is nothing to fight against. As the high-vibration starseed is unreachable and untouchable, inside its armor made of high-vibration source energy. But even with this concept of winning without even fighting, things are not always so simple on Earth and its complex matrix, where you not only need to stay positive and with good vibes, but you also must be proactive. This is because things there in that Earth realm are slow to manifest, as compared to how things come to be in higher realms, and even with the superior manifestation power of a source starseed. This is where the old saying comes into play. The only thing evil needs to thrive is that good people do nothing, or something along those lines. This means that many starseeds do fight directly. They fight not only by simply existing, because many do organize and start to share their knowledge with others through books, videos, and similar media, as well as actively and physically working to help other people and sentient creatures in need. But besides this activist starseed tendency, there is another aspect, which is that many starseeds do enter the astral realms purposefully, to directly confront and fight against strong evil entities who are causing mayhem on the side of the living. I see this astral warrior subject is immense and it is taking several videos to share, and perhaps there may be many more to come. There is a lot more to say, and I haven't even been able to get to the actual astral warriors with a sword and all, even though it was my intention today, because Starseed's mission was extensive as a subject, and critical to share as it involves all of you directly. But for now, I will leave it here.
So yeah, I guess for a summary and wrapping up the video, while there's a lot going out in the astral, and we're looking at space warriors and beings who are just duking it out with the reptilians and Dracos out there, all the galactic federations, and how important that game is over there, what Tigetans are doing, what Irmas are focusing on, all the other races that are fighting this. It's important, but also the real game, while many of us are trying to focus out there, the real game is here. It's your day-to-day life, what you focus on, dealing with the casual problems, trying not to take the bait, being aware enough to tell what are your thoughts, what are your emotions, and what's actually shoved in your head, what's projected, what is fake. Learning not to take that bait, learning not to fall for those emotions, not to fall for those thoughts, learning not to get distracted, and then when you have enough control of yourself, what you share with people, that will be really valuable. Just by not taking the bait, just by not feeding them the loosh, we're changing a lot. And we can do even more if we focus on sharing information and how things work, yeah. But even on smallest levels, even if you're not into going good, bad, right, wrong, all the duality terms and space opera and stuff like that, just you being here and having enough self-awareness and self-control will change a lot.